is he's the little boy who played Elliot in E.T.
Which is fucking crazy. You had to tell me that one because I was like, God damn, where have I seen this motherfucker before?
Yeah. And you know,
he's been to conventions too that we've been
oh
at
God,
too.
yes, several conventions. You know,
I want a Pet Sematary autograph now.
Yeah, that's you know, and he was also in The Haunting of Hill House. I know Leanna's been telling you about that.
Yeah,
I watched that too. It's a great fucking show.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's on my to watch list now.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll really like that. But he's a great actor, and yeah, he's definitely on my list of somebody to meet. So you got David Duchovny, who is the father of Timmy, who obviously is the one in question here, and you got Henry Thomas, the father of Judd. So this is really great if you think about it, because we got the two young unknown actors in the spotlight and the two veterans kind of in the background, kind of giving the push a little bit, like, go for it, guys. Yeah. I think that's brilliant, by the way. And also you add in the Pam Grier character of the male lady. She's, you know, I think it was kind of cool because like you call them, the inner circle that kind of knows the history's going on. Those are the well-known actors, and the ones kind of up front discovering this are the unknown actors in the film. So, you know, the more that you think, you know, I didn't even think about that till I'm just, all this shit is popping in my head right now. I'm just babbling on, but I think it's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, me and you talked about this for a little bit. We normally don't discuss movies before we review them together, because we try to give y'all the first responses.
Yeah, we want like that spontaneous response.
But I don't know, like, me and Todd's been friends long enough, and I was like, I just looked at him, I was like, you liked it? He was like, I liked it. I was like, I think we're on the same page. He's like, yeah, I think we're on the same page. It was just, we kind of knew it.
And you know, as we go on, we will tell you why we like it.
Yeah. I'm not going to really, I don't want to give away too much in this review. I think you've done enough.
Yeah, well, just to finish it off.
Yeah.
Long story short, Judd and a couple other people have to get together to find out what they're going to do about Timmy and how to stop him, blah, blah, blah. Without going into details, that's pretty much the gist of it. And also, you get this little history of the Pet Sematary, how it was formed, who, like the first settlers that got here on this land, that type of deal. That's a little bit too much to explain right here on the podcast. So that's definitely a part that I would want you guys to watch to figure out, because I don't think we could do it justice to make it make sense.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I highly recommend y'all watch. It does a great, like, you know, we've always heard about the ancient Indian burial ground in Pet Sematary. Well, they show you the start of it.
Yeah.
And what takes place during that time, and the first, I believe it was the first person to get, well, the first non-Native American person to be buried and come back, and that was the first experience. And then that's when they kind of did the inner circle, so to speak, that goes down generations and generations. Like, this inner circle is a generational thing, and which makes sense because by the time we get to Judd in the original Pet Sematary, it's just Judd.
Yeah, and it was great because in the original Pet Sematary, there's a comment by Judd that says, you know, the Indians knew the ground was sour, and they tried to warn us. And then when we get the flashback scene in this movie, you see the Indians warning the settlers, and they don't listen.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty awesome. I enjoyed that.
To me, it was a lot more settled callbacks to a big fan like me that would notice than just a mainstream fan would.
Yeah.
And I think, first of all, let's talk about how people, the comments that I have seen about the film.
I haven't looked at anything. I only watched Cody Leach's that you told me about after I watched it.
Yeah. On Facebook, it always pops up the Paramount download the app, and they always put a trailer up. And this time it was Pet Sematary because it's brand new, and people, I read some people's comments, and the majority of people, out of maybe 20 comments, you might get 2 that says this movie is bad. You might get 10 that says I really like this movie, and you'll get 10 more maybe that'll say meh, like that, right?
Right.
So without looking at spoilers, I'm like, okay, that's about half and half. Half people like it, half people, only about 2, maybe 2 out of 10 will go, this is suck, whatever.
Right. Just shitting all over it.
So I'm going to get into what I like about the film. What I like about the film is you don't see every single death scene in this film. There's a lot of callbacks to old school horror films where just before the attack happens, it's a cutaway and they leave it up to your imagination.
Yes.
And how many movies have done this effectively? I'm thinking Friday the 13th here.
Yeah, especially when Timmy goes to kill Pam Grier's character with the axe.
Oh, God, what's more scary? Seeing the blood and guts of the aftermath of that, or seeing that motherfucker possessed coming towards you and then
so
cutting
quick.
back?
And
Yeah.
Like, it was such a good cut.
Yeah.
Like, it was a snap cut. When I say a snap cut, like, you see it and it, like, happens real quick, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's done. But you didn't see anything.
But it leaves it up to your imagination of, holy shit, I could only imagine the damage that was just caused.
Because he viciously attacked her.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen, like, vicious attacks like that since probably Friday. Funny you said Friday the 13th, like Friday the 13th remake. Like, how, like, vicious he was.
Oh, yeah, it was. I think a good word for it is, not only is he attacking, but he's aggressively attacking.
Yeah.
So it's a purpose.
Yeah, it's very intentful.
But I really like the fact that you don't have to see all that. And another thing that I loved about this, and I told you about this, they don't spend too much time trying to explain to you stuff, because it's even though this is kind of like a prequel and it's how it all began, they assume, as well they should, look, you know the deal, you know the general story. We don't have to show you how somebody could come back from the dead and then they slowly start to show the signs of being possessed. It's like right off the bat they're possessed, which I loved, because there's too many times where movies do that unnecessarily, and you're kind of sitting there. The perfect example I can give, Insidious the Red Door.
Mm-hmm.
They did too much of rehashing and showing us things that we've already seen.
Yes,
and
totally. That whole 90% of that movie is a rehash.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. I think whoever made this movie, they made it for people who are legitimate fans of Pet Sematary. They didn't make it to gain any new fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This was a prequel for you. We know how much you guys have always loved the Fred Gwynne Judd character. So here's a movie about him and about his experience and everything like that. So I really appreciate that. And like I said, from beginning to end, this movie had like a feeling to it, a toll to it. It wasn't a happy movie. It's a dread feeling throughout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
the happiest you probably...
At the beginning, when they're about to leave to go to the Peace Corps.
Yeah, when they're about to go to the Peace Corps, like how happy, and that's probably the brightest and like happiest the movie is.
Yeah.
Until that I guess it was the fucking bird that hit it, or the dog. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was a bird, and then they stopped and the dog was on the road. That's what I picked up. But
It was
but
very,
from there it was dread, despair, and
very Children of the Cornish.
very, yeah, like great cinematography. One of my favorite things about it is Timmy. Throughout the movie, you really don't know what happened to him. Like,
Right.
you're not sure if he killed himself. You're not sure if he got killed over there. You don't know. But then you figure out he is dead, which Leanna figured, like, she's not really familiar with it, which is why I like watching things with her, because she picked up kind of a little ways through it.
Mm-hmm.
But me, I picked up on it right away that he, like, this motherfucker's been buried in a pet cemetery.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, he's like, something's wrong. Which to me is great, because she knew something was wrong, but then now she realized, like, something was wrong.
Yeah.
So someone that's not familiar with it can still enjoy this movie.
Right.
But anyway, getting to the Tim character, they did a great job of not insulting, like, the audience either way. Because as a fan, I wasn't insulted, and then as I can say she's a casual, but she is diving more into horror. She's
a newbie.
She's a newbie, but she still enjoyed it and was
Yeah.
like, "This is awesome." And then they did a great job at the reveal. Like they put the reveal there without putting the reveal like in your face.
Right.
Like they were like, "Okay, you're smart enough. You're going to get this when you see the news." And then to me, I was like, oh, that, like, and then I immediately felt for his dad, because then that means he killed himself when he came home.
Yeah. You can only imagine that the father is worried, and then his son comes home and he's really happy to see his son, but then, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Like,
you know?
but you don't understand where his anger for Judd is coming from. Like, you know, he's a draft dodger, and you just assume that, you know, he's not willing to fight for this country. But now you kind of look at it from the perspective of, like, he got to dodge it. My boy served and came home, and then he killed himself because of the war.
And don't forget the third friend in it, the Native American dude.
Yeah.
Which I forgot his name, but going back a little bit, Timmy, this guy, and Judd all kind of grew up together.
Yeah,
they
were
they
like
were
the
best
Goonies.
friends. And then they kind of drifted apart because Timmy went off to war. The Indian fella, or Native American, I should say, kind of went off and done his own thing. And Judd, you know,
Pretty much found his girlfriend. His girlfriend
it was
became his wife.
let's face it was a
Life.
Yoko Ono situation where the fucking female drags you away. Let's not fucking sugarcoat it. That's exactly the way that they looked at it. Not
Yeah.
necessarily saying that, but
Yeah, but that's,
You know.
that's what happened.
so they, you're talking about three guys, and they're each dealing with a situation. Of course, Timmy's dealing with the fact he's dead and now back to life. Judd's trying to figure out why everybody hates him. And the Indian guy, he has his own thing with his sister, who kind of is dabbling in that old Native American, you know, that's really where, like, that mask shit comes in, and the ceremonies and all that stuff. So all of this is tied in together. So it's...
Well, the Native American he was struggling with was being alone.
Yeah, because his sister
Was
wanted
about
to leave.
Yeah, she was about to go to Buffalo because she's a painter / arts and craft person, and
She accepted.
Yeah,
she
accepted the offer to put her stuff on display, like her little own art show.
I think the overall message of this movie is you're in a small town, you're trying to get out, and you can't.
There's no way out.
Because Judd tried to leave, the bird happened. The Native American girl, she's going to leave, but then fate intervenes in all of this stuff. And, you know, there's a couple different messages. That's why we like this movie, because we can actually bring up several different things, but none of it was like boom, boom, boom in your face. And like you said, you know, it might take somebody like Leanna a little while to pick up on it, but we appreciated that they didn't explain it to us because we already knew. But at the same time, you're just like, well, Leanna picks up on it, and now she knows.